Hi, I'm David Norris, and I'm serving up the perfect podcast, Pompey Platter with Russ, Daz and Haz. Play up, Pompey!
Murphy scores! A magnificent goal! That's just wonderful from Josh Murphy! Shaughnessy, great saving! Shaughnessy at the near post! Chance for Colby Bishop over the goalkeeper, off the post and into the back of the net! Colby Bishop! Lang's got his fourth! A fourth for Callum Lang!
Hello and welcome to the Pompey Patter podcast. This is season 2, episode 29, Déjà Blue 2. As ever, I'm joined by Russ and Haz. How's you, mate?
I'm okay, mate. You?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks. Russ? Russ? I sound like a dog. Where are you, Russ? Unfortunately, Russ is under the weather, so he won't be joining us this evening. But obviously, he's left us a couple of notes about what he thought about the whole game and his predictions. So we can read those out a little later. But hope you get better soon, Russ, and we'll hopefully see you back on here next week. So the plan for this evening, if you're listening live, or the plan for the podcast is a whole review. Then we're going to move on to our Blackburn preview, our Swansea preview, any other business, Harry's Who Am I? And as there's only me and Harry this evening, we're going to be doing a little something different for my section, but I'll leave that until we get there. So, as the title suggests, Déjà Blue 2, a very similar feeling and a very similar game to when we had Sheffield United at home a couple of weeks ago. But to be honest, I thought the first half, I thought we looked bright. What do you think, Haz?
Yeah, and it did kind of follow a very similar pattern almost to Sheffield United, where with the first half, they had their shot on target and did have the ball in the back of the net within the first minute, which obviously was ruled for offside. And then after that, then that part was similar to Charlton in the fact that we had that early scare, and that kind of kicked them into gear. And the same with this, that early chance where they were offside when they put the ball in the net. It kind of kicked us into gear, and we had plenty of shots. We had the possession. We had 15 shots, 5 on target, and we nullified them just to 1, which was literally the one that happened within the first minute from Joe Gelhardt. But again, similar to Sheffield United, kind of Preston as well, we just lack that cutting edge. And when you play teams with the quality of players that they've got, it's when we need a chance, we need 4 or 5 chances. When you play teams that are, on the up and have the greater ability players, they only need the 1 chance. And when you give them the gift like we did, I mean, I think Matt Crooks made it probably look easier than it was. I think he did really well, and he's a top player. I'd love to have Matt Crooks for us. But when you give someone the opportunity like that, and I think for me, the most frustrating part was if we'd got done maybe from the back, if Hull had put a really nice passing move together, or had kind of a really good team goal, or had stuck one in the top corner from 35 yards, I think you can kind of accept it a bit more. But where we are pretty much solely responsible, well, Adrian Segatic is solely responsible for that goal, it's more frustrating to add to the frustration of the fact of how well we played.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating, and I've said it a couple of times this season. I think Watford was the first time I said it at home, was that the only way the other team's going to get something out of this is if we allow them into the game or we make a silly mistake and things like that. And when you're on top and the other team don't look like they're sort of putting any kind of decent pressure on, any decent chances. Again, I know we said Hull had that chance in the first half, but that was down to kind of our mistake and not recovering. Those are the instances in the games where you have to really switch on at the back, because the longer a game goes on, Hull were happy to sit on a draw. So for them, they've got nothing to lose. They can sit back, sit on a draw, say, "Come on, break us down," and then if they can break and they can get something, they can get something. And that's when the more a game goes on and the more a team gets frustrated because they're on top but can't get themselves in good positions and that kind of stuff. That's when it's most dangerous, because all it takes is one switch off, or in instance on Saturday, 2 switches off. You can get punished for it, and it feels even worse. And as you said, you don't mind, like, if someone puts it top bins or is like there's good football and that kind of stuff. But Hull didn't show that, whether or not like it was a fact that they weren't playing well and we were playing well, or they just were happy with a draw.
I
Either
think it
or.
was potentially almost part of the game plan was to let us. They've probably done their homework and seen us against Sheffield United and seen us against Preston away and games like that, and almost kind of strangled the game.
And
They you look at the back line. Obviously, you had John Egan and Charlie Hughes did really well. They marshalled Bishop fairly well and kind of kept him out. Famewo again kept Blair, then Caballero quiet. Louis Coyle was doubling up with Kyle Joseph on Millie Ali and restricted him, and they really strangled the game. And when you do that away from home, I think it works, because they got given a chance, one because of us, but they also took it. So really, for them, it was kind of like the perfect away day. They restricted us, and we had a lot of possession, but we didn't really make the keeper do anything.
no, we didn't.
There wasn't any outrageous saves that he had to make, really, to really make him like challenge the keeper and make him do something. A lot of the saves were pretty basic, and then they took the chance, and then after that, it didn't look like we were going to score, really.
I thought the whole second half, I don't think we created enough in the second half. Like, first half, I thought we looked tidy. I thought going forward, we moved the ball pretty well, got ourselves in good positions. We should have had a penalty, in my opinion. It should have been a penalty, but I think Sam Allison, the great referee he is bottled it, because I think he knows that if he gives the penalty, he probably has to give the red card, because I know the double jeopardy thing, but if he's playing no intent for the ball,
that's when it doesn't apply, isn't it?
Exactly. So he'd be gone. So I think he's bottled that. But that's the thing. As I said, I thought first half, I thought we were not. I enjoyed watching us in the first half, but second half it just seemed like we ran out of ideas, and I think the main thing is for that, like, because we don't have the quality and depth in attacking areas to be able to switch some stuff up. I think because of the way Hull sat deeper, it was harder for Caballero to sort of make an impact when he came on. With Ali, like, he's just running on fumes by the time you get into the 70th, 80th minute. And I'm hoping the fact that we've had a week off now, or a week with no game, that he can, like, probably see a 90 minutes out more. I mean, he's seen the 90 minutes out, but you can just see his legs are gone by like the 80th and 85th minute. He can't do the same things, which is not, it's fine, because that's just, he's doing a lot of work down there. We pretty much go down the left-hand side majority of the time. And because of the type of winger he is, where he likes to get to the bar line, or he likes to commit a defender rather than what Murphy does, where if he's got a chance to whip the ball in from any angle, he'll do it. So he's using less energy and stuff like that. So, and I think that's our problem. We don't have the quality on the bench and the quality in depth to be able to come on and like really have a go. I mean, as I think I said it last week, the week before, was like, if just imagine you're playing up against Ali, and then on the 60th minute you can bring a Josh Murphy on to replace him. It's like the right back will be like, what else have I got to do today? And you're more likely to maybe get something out of it. But that's it. We just don't have that quality.
No, and you look at the quality of the substitutions of the players that Hull could bring on. You take off Carl Joseph, you bring on a really experienced head in John Lundstrom. You took off Amir Hadzimetovic, you bring on Matt Crooks. You take off Regan Slater, you bring on another experienced player in Kieran Down. You then take off Lewis Kumas and you bring on Paddy McNair. There's so many experienced championship level players. They might not be the top end, but they're solid with definitely 50, 60 plus appearances at least in the championship, if not over 100. And they're the experience that we can bring off the bench. And what do we bring off the bench? We brought on Caballero for Blair, which I thought it was harsh to not start Caballero, but it is. I don't think it's much of a muchness between them right now. But then you think in the 82nd minute, he did go for it, to be fair, didn't he? He took off Adams and brought on Jacob Brown, and took off Zach Swanson and put on Connor Chaplin. And then obviously in the 91st minute, he decided to bring on Jojo for Devlin, which felt a bit of a weird change so late. Probably could have done with it a little bit earlier. But it was nice to see that he did go for it in the end, and it wasn't like, we're going to stick with what we got. We kind of went to a back three, and did push. But you look at the depth of players that they can bring on, and compared to us, and that's Matt Crooks was on the pitch for 10 minutes, and he's the one that's made the difference.
Yeah.
You're right, because where we are lacking players, and we're lacking people like Murphy and just anything else really up front, and there's no one on the bench that you look at and think they can come on and make an impact. There genuinely isn't, and at the minute, apart from the first 11, that's pretty much it, and that's where we're lacking. There's no quality, partly because we're not investing enough in the quality in more than just the first 11, and the other part is a lot of them are injured. So
yeah, no, I agree, and I think a game like Saturday probably screaming out for a Callum Lang type player.
absolutely,
With a little bit more energy, someone that's going to get beyond Bishop, and then maybe test the centre backs, maybe look beyond to get beyond them, and cause some havoc. But obviously, we haven't got that type of player in the ranks. A player like Chaplin and that could be that player, but obviously at the moment this season, it's not hit for him and that kind of stuff. So.
And I don't think it's necessarily even Chaplin. We were talking about it on the group chat, weren't we? Anyone that's really played in the number 10 is not really playing as a proper 10. Because Bishop's winning flick-ons and he's winning headers, but he's not, there's no one around him, so he's winning it, and it looks like it's an aimless flick-on or an aimless header that he's getting contact on. But your number 10 should be close to him, or one of your wingers needs to be close to him. But we're never there for the second ball, so it makes, because Bishop is so isolated, I don't know why. It has to be tactical, because it's the same with Segacic, it's the same with Chaplin, it's very much the same for Swift as well. They're almost playing as an extra midfielder rather than they're like a 10/8. They're kind of like you can't use the number 9 because they're not a number 9, but do you know what I mean? They're kind of that in between. Then we're not playing a 4-3-3. We are playing a 4-2-3-1, but Bishop's not getting enough support from those three behind him across that line. And that's where we're losing a lot of second balls, and that's where Bishop gets frustrated, and because he's doing well to start with, and then he gets pissed off, and I just don't. I don't understand why we're not getting that number 10, whoever it is, it doesn't matter who it is, get them closer to Bishop. So when he does win the headers and flick-ons, you've got someone that can get on the ball. And whether he then, Chaplin or Segatic gets on the ball and pushes forward through the middle, or they've got the ability to get it out to either wing, you've just got to get it closer, because that is why I feel like that's why we're struggling so much, because Colby's left up there all by himself. There's no one else that we can play instead of Colby, because Waddingham's injured, Kirk is injured, Brown didn't pull up many trees on his debut when he played up front against Preston, but I also got it was his debut. He offers something very different. He's more of a kind of get in behind number 9 than a kind of a hold up play Bishop. But I don't think Messino fancies him, because he's put him on the wing every time since. So you get people saying for Bishop to get dropped, but there's literally no one else.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no point in dropping him for dropping him sake.
Yeah, because the way that Messino wants to play, you're then having to change the way that he wants to play because of to put Brown in, because Brown isn't going to be winning headers. Brown isn't going to be holding up the ball. So as much as Bishop should do better in certain situations, and he probably knows that, I would love him to stop fighting the centre half too much. I feel like he's focusing on them too much. There was a header in the first half where it was pumped forward from Nico Schmid, and the ball was literally coming to his feet. And it was already over the halfway line. And then he turned around and was worried about what John Egan was doing. And then by the time he kind of got hold of John Egan, the ball had already gone, because John Egan had got it. He'd wrapped his leg around it and flicked it away. And I was thinking, focus on never mind what the centre half doing. If the centre half bundles you over, you'll get free kick. Don't focus on him, just focus on yourself, because we know he's got the ability to win the ball, and I do think sometimes he does worry about the centre half too much. But also, he isn't getting the same service as he did due to Murphy and sometimes Matt Ritchie last season. We've got different wingers, and we have got to adapt. Everyone's got to adapt, and that's where I think the number 10 needs to be closer to him without having a Murphy they've got that telepathy to be able to find the right run and the right ball at the right time. I think having that number 10 closer to him would really benefit him, while we don't have Murphy for the rest of the season, but gives you something different rather than just relying on Millie.
Yeah, the thing about Bishop and the defenders and things like that, the problem is if he doesn't know where the defender is, then a defender can just come around the side of him. It's a bit of 2 1.5 does the other. The thing is, where the balls drop him, if he just concentrates on the ball, the defender is just going to lean on him and he's just going to push him out the way. Because the defender wants to get to that spot. They're not going to run and fly in and take him out. But what they're going to do is put a bit of pressure on him. So if he's not aware of the defender, he's not prepared. He can't steady himself and get ready for it. So it's the life of a centre back, the life of a centre forward, that you've got to battle with each other. And there's 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get a free header. It's going to be a battle, and for me as defender, if the ball's in the air and I know it's just in front of me, just in front of the attacker, I'm just going to make sure I put my body on him and push him forward and things like that. So he's got to be prepared. He's got to be ready. He's got to know where the centre back is. It's not just a case of just going and winning the ball. It's different if there's a cross coming in, go run and go and win it. But when there's balls coming in from Schmid and stuff like that, where he's got his back to goal, he has to know where the defender is.
Yeah, he does, but he can have a glance to see where they are, but then there's too busy trying to grab his shirt and everything is kind of a bit too much.
But
if
they're
that makes
grabbing
sense.
his. That's the problem. They're grabbing his. They're not going to allow him to to have anything free. They want him they want him to know that they're there every single
Yeah, of
time
course.
that the ball's there. Because the last thing they want to do is a striker to be comfortable. They want that. I've done it as a centre back. You first chance you get hold of the centre forward. You might even give him a little dig or stuff like that, just so you know
I'm
that when the ball's in the air the next time, he in the back of his mind, I'm going to be there. So
Yeah,
and
and
then
I'm not saying he needs to lose that, because that is part of his game. I'll just like him to focus a little bit more on. Does that make sense? Kind of, I understand it and I appreciate what you're saying, and he needs to do it to an extent, but I think he overdoes it a bit.
the problem is that it's every ball that will come into him will kind of be different. So he has to make a decision within a matter of seconds of how he deals with that situation.
Yeah,
Whether he does concentrate more on the centre back or that kind of stuff. And the problem is because he's by himself, it allows one centre back to get so tight because the other one's just going to drop.
yeah.
It's and just be that support with him.
Again,
So
that's why I think some of it could be tactical, that they could adjust it to help him. So if he knows that he's kind of on his own and he has to try and make the ball stick to his feet when these balls come up. If they can get someone closer to him, then he knows he's got a bit more wiggle room to be able to adjust and get the ball to someone else rather than have to make it stick at his feet, because that's all it seems like we're trying to do at the minute.
things I always I don't think people appreciate some of his little touches when he does get there, like his little one touch layoffs and that kind of stuff. Like they're absolutely quality, but I just don't. Not that I don't think anyone appreciates it. I'm not going to sit here and say people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to football and that kind of stuff. But I don't. I think a lot of people follow the ball rather than actually know it, concentrate on what else is going on.
Yeah, he's definitely still having impacts in games and stuff. There's no doubt about that.
And things, don't get me wrong, there are games when he probably needs to do a little better. Like some of his movement can be better and things like that. But the problem is because he's on his own, he's not that dynamic runner. Is probably one of his best runs I've seen him do was against Leeds at home.
Yeah.
But he's not that type of striker. So that's why you need players going beyond him, and that's why him and Murphy built up such a good understanding of each other that it allowed that. But he's got to build that with other people as well. So Ali's got to be that player. Caballero's got to be that player. Whoever plays in the 10, he has to get that. He had that sort of understanding with Lang. I'm not sitting here and just saying Bishop's blameless, because he's not. But all these relationships have to sort of be like what Bishop had with Lang and Murphy last season, especially. I'm not going to say this season because hardly anyone's played, have they? So I don't want to say it's like a hole with the front line, but there needs to be some dynamic decision making.
Yeah.
And Ali, I love him to bits, but I think it showed in the second half that he just held on to the ball a little bit too long. And the problem is that even if you hold on to the ball for a second too long, gaps close up.
Yeah.
So when people are saying about Bishop's movement in the box, okay, it's sometimes it could be better, but there's sometimes when you actually see it, he's in positions, but then because Ali takes a little bit more touch, does another step over, gets to the bar line, that's gone, that gap's gone, because again, he's up against two centre backs majority of the time, and when you're playing at home, especially against the likes of Hull, that as soon as the ball was in around our 18-yard box, they just filled the 18-yard box with their players to defend it. In those instances, you have to move the ball quicker, and that's why Murphy in that sort of game could have been the difference, because as soon as the ball comes out to him, out of his feet, he's either having a shot because he can hit it with both feet, or he's having a cross because again he can hit it with both feet, and he causing more issues. But we haven't got Murphy now for the rest of the season, so they're going to have to find another way that if another game goes like it does, which it probably will, because when we play the likes of Oxford, they will probably set up the same way, because teams will look at that now and look how Sheffield United and Hull did it, and there's no reason why they can't come and do it the same thing.
Just absorb the pressure and then
and
take
frustrate.
a
Yeah,
chance. Yeah, that's it.
so we're going to have to find a way, and not just Messino, but because the players on the pitch at the end of the day, so they're the ones who've got to put the plan into action. If whatever Messino information gives them, if that's not working, then they've got to figure it out. Like, you can only do so much as a head coach, whatever. It's up to the players to like figure certain things out, and that's where the likes of Marlon Pack, Edo Adams, and Bishop had to step up as the more experienced players in the side and help the younger lads. But it's is there much more you want to talk about the whole game?
Uh, only the goal, really, but I suppose we don't need to go
Yeah.
into it too much.
Well, I think it's important we do because, obviously it probably leads into Messino's comments after the game, which I'm not sure why so many people had an issue with what Messino was saying. Like, I didn't see him absolutely lambast Segatic. He was just saying it wasn't good enough, and it wasn't. Like,
No,
it's not even like, because someone tried to I was having a chat. Was it Sun's stats? Good lad, but I think he was trying to compare like sort of Adams and in the very start of the game and Segatic mistakes, which they're both mistakes and they led to situations. Obviously, the first one get goals offside, and the second one, obviously, we were punished by it. But it's the different kind of scenarios where Adams is going forward with cover and also trying to be positive, and where you've got Segatic, he knows what's in front of him. There's no cover, and he knows that, and he's made two very silly decisions, hasn't he?
yeah, and the first one he's kind of recovered, but when he gets back into his area, just even if you put it out for a corner, just the only thing he did wrong was do what he did. If he stuck it out for a throw or for a corner, it wouldn't be ideal, but it gives you a chance to reset. But when he has the ball where he does, you're asking a hell of a lot of Nico. And it's not Nico's fault at all, because not only does he ask a lot of him, he then sells him completely short as well. And he kind of gives Nico no option. I think it kind of, does it ricochet off McBurney to Crooks? I think.
I think so. Yeah.
It's kind of just one of them. But there's not a lot Nico could have done. So it is on. It is on Segacic.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Messino's fair to say it's not good enough because it isn't good enough, especially a player of Segacic's quality.
Yeah.
But Segacic knows it's not good enough. Everybody knows, and I really would love it. You know, he's our top scorer this season. He shouldn't be that deep. I don't know why he is in the first place. But again, playing as a number 10 kind of links to earlier on, as we were saying. But I would love to see him stay in the 11 and kind of go on then, prove to us, like, you know, prove to me you should be starting. I don't think he should change it and kind of give him a chance to kind of bounce back as such.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not one of those. It's not one of those mistakes where, like, that's it, that's him done for a while and that kind of thing. It's because it's not the part of the pitch where you expect Segatic to be. That's not an excuse because you don't have to be a defender to know in that scenario. You don't like have a little flick at it when you've got no one covering, as well as like probably there was at least two whole players in and around him. But it was the fact that, okay, he got away with that. And then he obviously proceeded to play that short pass to Smith. And it's the old saying, isn't it? It's like, if in doubt, kick it out, which
Yeah,
like
exactly.
is very old school. But I think in that instance, and this is the problem, when it's 0-0 and we're in that part of the game and we're struggling to create stuff up the other end of the pitch, last thing you want to do is give them anything to feed off. It's a learning curve, and every player has had a really bad decision or a really bad mistake Usually with the likes of Segatic, if he makes a really bad mistake, it's usually up the other end of the pitch. So it only ends up usually without scoring, unlike a defender or a goalkeeper. Obviously, like with Schmid, when obviously we played Watford, he makes a mistake and it turns into a goal. So, yeah, I mean, unless, like, he shouldn't be dropped off that. But,
I think
like,
everybody had a bad game, didn't they? Ibu wasn't the same level as he has been. Obviously, Millie wasn't the same. That could be down to, partial fatigue and kind of being doubled up on. Caballero didn't have the same impact as he did against Millwall. Blair wasn't quite at it again either. So everybody was at it. I suppose Segatic gets more of the heat because he's the one that made the direct mistake, but I don't think anyone had a particularly good game.
No, and I think if we are clinical in that first half, which is when we were on top for the whole, pretty much the whole game, but in the first half we were on top in a good way. Like, we turned our possession into getting ourselves in good areas and looking like we had opportunities, where in the second half we were too slow getting the ball forward, which helped Hull. So maybe if in that first half, maybe if we had that penalty and scored it, like if we'd have scored in the first half, we might have seen a bit of a better second half. But that's if, buts and maybes and that sort of stuff. So no point in sort of lingering on that. But and again, I don't think anyone had a particularly good game, but I don't think anyone really had like a bad game. It just looked like a tired team, I thought.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to that's all we can do. We
Yeah.
don't have the players to be able to bring off the bench. A lot of our benches, especially when you're one down, a lot of our bench is defensive. You've got Luke LaRue as a defensive midfielder. You've got Jordan Williams as a right back. Iban Bawat and Hayden Matthews as centre halves. Joe Bursick's obviously your goalkeeper. Madio Diodia is another centre half. So you've only got 3 attacking substitutions available. So which is Caballero, Chaplin, and Brown. Well, there's no depth attacking wise. There's nothing, because they all came on and offered little to nothing.
Yeah, and that's it. And Caballero he's because of where he's come from, and he's obviously started off well. People have to still give him a little bit of slack that he might come on and not do what he did against the likes of Millwall and Charlton. Is like he's still probably going to have. He's probably going to have a couple of good games, a couple of not so influential games, because of like it's a lot to ask come from South America over to play the Championship.
Yeah, exactly. Again, he needs some more time to adapt. So
Yeah,
it's
but we know he's got it now. So
yeah, I just think it's just more frustration. Again, it's another game you dominate, and yeah, you've got to just stop doing it. You've just got to take these chances and do better. So even if you were 1-0 up, and then it ends up being 1-1 from a mistake, at least you've still got a point. But when you're doing it when you're 0-0 and you're making mistakes, you've literally cost us points because you've not been good enough to score, and then you are making those mistakes at the back. That's when it's not good enough, and we don't want it to keep going.
No, and that's the thing with, again, another old saying: if you can't win, don't lose. And that's the issue we've had with a number of games. Okay, like it's one of those things where it sort of works out better if you win one, lose one, that kind of stuff, like rather than too many draws and that kind of thing. But for where we are and what we need is about just accumulating enough points to stay up. It's not like when you're pushing for playoffs or you're pushing to win the league, where you have to win more games than like you draw and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With us, it's just accumulating as many points as possible, and we could be really we should, not should and that sort of stuff. But if we'd have cut out silly mistakes, we could be sitting on another 3 points from 3 draws. Okay, it's not ideal drawing twice at home in games that you probably should have won because you've dominated them. But it's better to come away with a point.
Something's better than nothing, isn't it?
Exactly. And as I said, the point where we're at in this, where we are as a club and staying in the Championship is to stay up. Okay, we wanted to push on a little bit more, but we haven't. So now it's about making sure we stay up. So that's just accumulate as many points as possible. And if that means you grind out a couple of draws where you felt you should have won, then that's what you have to do. And then you just hope next season we can push on. But I mean, that's a discussion for another day, and I think we'll probably have that next week, and we'll go from there.
And this is where kind of good segue into Saturday, and that's where taking points is going to be vital.
Yep.
So obviously on Saturday we're away to Blackburn, 12:30 kickoff, a nice early trip for everyone going up there, a nice early start for everyone. So enjoy that, or rather you probably won't. But they had an initial little bounce for under Michael O'Neill. So Michael O'Neill's bizarrely, you don't normally get it nowadays, do you? He's obviously still in charge of Northern Ireland, but he's also club football as well, which you don't normally get, which is bizarre. It's normally like what you see in FIFA, where you do your manager career and you get international management as well. They had a little early bounce. They beat QPR and they beat Preston 1-0, but then they've lost to Bristol City and lost to Derby in the last couple. So they're one place below us, 1 point below us, having played a game extra. So it's, excuse me, this team, it's a very important game. It feels like if there's a team that can win, it feels like it could be a really, it's like a season defining game actually, really for both teams, because if one of them can win, then they can probably really kick on and push on. You think, especially with us, you know, what we're 19th, 39 points, that would take us, so if we could win, it would take us on to 42. It might not necessarily make us go up any places, depending on what Charlton do above us. They've got Birmingham, so it could be one where we can take advantage of it, but it also opens up the gap to below. Leicester have got Ipswich, West Brom have got Sheffield United. So when we're then playing Blackburn, and Charlton have got Birmingham, other teams around us have got some hard fixtures. So when you're playing a team around you, this is the kind of fixture you need to kick on and get something just to pull away. There's currently 5 points. If we can win, not only do we open up that gap to Blackburn, we're pulling away further from West Brom and Leicester and Oxford, if you want to count them in it as well. So yes, head to head. Last time we beat Blackburn at Blackburn. Do you know, Daz?
Well, the first one that comes into my head is Canu's goal when we won 1-0 in the Premier League. Can't think of another time. Have we won up there again? No, I think, is that it?
Actually, FootMob doesn't show it, so I'm just going to quickly Google it.
I know Canu scored, we won 1-0 up there. I don't know if we beat him again after that up there anyway, because obviously it was a big gap of us playing up there. Obviously, last at League One, we lost, got pumped like 3-0, didn't we? Didn't win last.
It's the last, was the 1-0 win away in 2007.
In Canu, yeah. Because I swear he sat down a few of their players and just like sort of put it into the near post. Great finish.
He probably had to sit down after as well, but would have been exhausted being in his mid-60s.
No doubt, yeah.
We're actually unbeaten in the last two against them, obviously both being at home. Josh Murphy last season, and then Lang, and then Bowat this season in a 2-1 win.
Yeah, that's lovely.
So, referee is Tom Neild. So far has refereed 17 championship games with 60 yellow cards, so fair amount. Anything, you'd probably go 9-4, 6-5, 4-2, 3-3, 3-4, 5-2, 3-4. So you're probably looking at over 3 or 4 cards. Record is actually quite good. He's refereed us 15 games, which is the second most of any team he's refereed. Only Lincoln he's refereed more. Of those 15 games, we've had 10 wins, 2 draws and 3 losses, which isn't a bad little number.
No.
He has refereed us this season already, and that was our 3-2 loss away to Hull. He refereed us twice last year, our 6-1 loss away to Stoke and our 2-1 home win against Cardiff. So we've actually been fairly successful, not most recently, but, I think we take it.
Yeah.
Russ has gone for a 1-1 draw with Ali as the goal scorer. Daz, I'll let you go for this one.
Let's go 2-1. Let's be positive. I've got Russ's what's the word? What he said the other day about like concentrate on the scorer rather than the result. So what scorer did he put again? Sorry,
Millie.
Miliali. Let's go. Miliali was one of mine on the top of my head. Let's go. Jesus. Ali was going to be one of mine. I don't want to say Bishop again, even though I should be backing him. And the others, I just don't know who's definitely going to start. Let's go Bishop because I'm pretty sure he will start. So I can't really think of who else might start. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to go. We'll go to. I think we'll probably concede. I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win for us. And we'll go. I feel like we are due a centre half goal. I'm going to go for Regan Poole. One of the pluses is that Connor Shaughnessy is back, available for Blackburn. Obviously, I very much doubt you'd start him. I wouldn't want to interrupt Paul and Ogilvie anyway, let alone due to his fitness, Shaughnessy's fitness. It's probably something you want to try and bring in off, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end, just get some minutes in his legs. But we don't want to rush him back. But obviously, it's another defender that we then have back, but it's more the attacking problem. The attackers, that's the problem. You look at the goals conceded this year, I think I've said it before, the fact that we're in line with a lot of mid-table teams, and then it's the goals scored you look at, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
So we don't really need it. I mean, it feels weird saying this, but we don't really need Shaughnessy as much. I know that might sound a bit weird, me saying that, but his availability has been pretty shite this year. And we're pretty well stocked. Probably a touch wood. That's not me jinxing it, but I would imagine you'll get some minutes, and then probably get some minutes next Tuesday as well. So we're at home to Swansea on Tuesday night. They are 16th, so they're only 3 places above us, but they've got a 7-point gap over us. They've managed to pull away. They changed managers earlier on in the season. Again, we're one of the only teams in the lower league. I think we are one of the only teams to not change their manager down below. Everyone else seems to do it. We don't rush into that kind of thing, which I think, pretty much everyone has full belief in Messino. Swansea, 46 points. Mine's gone blank, sorry. They're 13 wins, 7 draws, 15 losses. Their last 5, they beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. They lost 2-0 to Derby. They beat Bristol City 1-0. Drew 1-1 to Preston, and then lost to Ipswich 3-0. So they've probably had a bit of a mixed bag, but that's kind of where they are. They're kind of neither here nor there, and that's why they're pretty mid-table team. Russ has gone for 2-0 and Bishop. Daz?
I'm going to go 2-1 again, mainly because I'm going 2-1 because the Premier League games the other day were like 4-2-1s, own wins. So let's do another 2-1, as they said on the Peter Crouch podcast, missionary score. And I'll go for Ali this time.
You're going to go for Millie. Okay.
Millie.
Oh, dearie me. I'm just watching Spurs absolutely crumble against Palace, and wow.
Jeez, I've just seen that.
1-0 up. Well, they nearly conceded. Ismaila Sarr was offside by his forehead. Then Spurs scored. Then Van der Ven's been given a red card for last man, and they got a penalty, and now Palace are winning 2-1. So well on Spurs. Back to Pompey. Swansea do. Oh, I don't know. I feel like 2-1 or 2-0. I'll be confident in us. I'll go like Russ. I'll go for a 2-0. I feel like we need it. We're due a clean sheet. We haven't kept one in 6, and it might be 7 after Blackburn. Goal scorer. What? Caballero? Yeah, go on then. We'll go for Caballero.
Cabba.
And see if he can come off the bench or be around and get that goal.
I was tempted to go with Gustavo for Saturday because I think it'll be a bigger pitch and hopefully he'll be able to get beyond their backline. But I thought play it safe. And Bish has got to do it at some point. Come on, Bish.
We believe in you, Bish.
We do. Bloody well do. Lovely. Right. So, shall I do my? Shall I do my quick little game?
Go on then.
Because it's more of a quick one. It's nothing like too intense. But again, it's one of the games I saw online. So it's picking a side 11 out of Prime Portsmouth, which is our 2008 FA Cup winning side. And as I'm doing it for you, it's Prime Tottenham. And it's the team that just missed out on the Premier League because that's their prime. Would you agree with that?
What when they lost to Leicester?
Yeah, they lost to Leicester for the league. Yeah,
Yeah.
because obviously that's their as a whole season. It's probably their best season to date, I guess.
Could argue Champions League final. But
yeah, but
the league,
I don't know,
the league, I'd probably agree with. To be fair,
the thing is, what I always think about with finals, especially European finals, that I don't think you have to be necessarily good all season as a team. Like you can concentrate on the league and that kind of stuff. So basically, what it's going to do, I'm going to give you 2 options. One, obviously, Spurs. One, Pompey.
yeah.
And then you have to make a decision who you want to keep in, and then we're going to make a best 11.
Okay.
Obviously, because like the way teams set up, it might be a little bit different, but I've kind of tried to match up the players, which especially players that played the most games that season.
Okay, so you're giving me player versus a player, and then I've got to pick one of them, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So we'll start off with goalkeeper, David James or Loris.
I will go for J-Mo. I do like Hugo Lloris. He was a great keeper, to be fair. And I think he was probably slightly underrated. Again, probably because he played for Spurs. I feel like that point he was the best keeper in the league. But J-Mo was my hero growing up. So
the thing is, it's a little bit like Shay Given when he was at Newcastle. I think people appreciated him enough when he was playing for Newcastle.
Yeah, especially you look at fucking Vicario in goal now, and he's absolute dog shit. Yeah. So you look at what Spurs had in Lloris, and you think actually he was to play in the Premier League as a number 1 for 11 years. You have to be pretty decent, despite what Spurs may be Spursy. You know, to be in a number 1 for a top club in the Premier League for 11 years in a row is pretty good. So, yeah. But I do go for J-Mo.
Yeah. Left back, Herman Hreidarsson or Danny Rose?
Wow. That is tough because Danny Rose, again, that was his prime. Him and Kyle Walker with Vertonghen and Alderweireld as a back 4 was some was some back four. At home. At home in the last season of White Hart Lane, they went unbeaten and only conceded, I think, 15 goals at home all season. Wow. But Herman. More nostalgia is for Herman, right?
But it's well, to be fair, actually, it's your decision as who you want to put in there. So it depends on how you want to look at it. So, like, some people
Wow,
like
3-1,
to look at it as
3-1 Palace now. Fucking hell.
was it?
Spurs are going down. They're all going. All the Spurs fans are off. They're fucking off.
Jesus.
I'm going to go Herman. Just
Herman, well done, lovely. Yang Vertonghen or Sol Campbell?
super Jan. I know you put him up against Campbell, and I know people know that I have a massive dislike for Campbell. But Jan Vertonghen is honestly one of the best centre-backs Spurs have had.
It's your team, your choices. No, there's no judgment here. Sylvain Distin or Toby Alderweireld?
Oof. See, I'm going to go for Toby simply because of the pairing. Him and Vertonghen together were an unbelievable pairing.
What, the Scummer? The Scummer, is that what you said?
No, that's
Disgusting.
not part of it at all. He was only on loan there, so he wasn't even a permanent player. So the pairing of those two at the back as the kind of the Belgian kind of wall as the centre halves, they just worked magic.
Indeed. Right, Glenn Johnson or Kyle Walker, right back?
Glenn Johnson.
See, when you said about Danny Rose and obviously Walker, I thought you might have gone for Walker as right back as well. But I think Tottenham Walker is not as good as
Walker kind of
Pompey Johnson.
Yeah, and Walker kind of almost kicked on that little bit more when he went to City. And I think if it was the City Walker, I think he would probably have got in. But the Pompey Johnson was probably better.
Yeah. Right, next one. Christian Eriksen or Mendes?
Wow. Oh, my God. This is tough. This is a quick little section. We'll make it as hard as possible for there, Harry.
Yeah. Well, that is the point though. It's like it's prime.
Yeah.
It's harder. If I did Pompey Championship against Tottenham, like Champions League. Well, actually, to be fair, if we did the two teams this season, it'd be quite difficult.
I mean, I think there'd be more Pompey than you think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for... What formation are you making me play, just out of interest?
Well, it's kind of like a 4-3-3.
Okay. I'm going to go for Christian Eriksen.
Okay. Dia or Diop?
Who?
Dyer, or is it
Dyer?
Dyer or Diop?
Diop. Papa Booper Diop all day long.
Yeah. Oh,
Eric Dyer couldn't lace his boots, mate.
Right. This is going to be a very interesting one, and I'm struggling to pick, but I know I'd probably actually go for the end. Moussa Dembele or Lassana Diarra?
Oh my God! Oh, you bastards for putting them two up against each other. I want both.
Yeah, well, that's why I put together.
Mate,
that's the position where
that's like the impossible choice.
it's tough. It's tough.
They were both for Diarra for Pompey and Dembele they were like the cogs that kept it ticking, but they were almost like the underrated kind of not forgotten about, but it's like kind of you don't know what you've had until they've gone. Exactly. And it was only when they were not playing you realised what an impact they actually had on the team. Yeah, it's like the unsung heroes. Wow. Fuck. I'm gonna. And the thing is, I'm gonna go for Diarra, but I always bang on about how good Moussa Dembele was.
I loved watching Dembele.
Yeah, and Ibu Adams reminds me of him so much. The way he can he's got the muscle, he's got the physique, but he just glides past people like they're not there.
For me, it's the way Dembele, you could get the ball, he'd get it with is standing back foot, like facing the other direction, he would just touch it, and then as he turns, he uses the player who's sort of marking him as kind of like a springboard, and uses their body to maybe push off them or go around them, and then comes along with, say, his left foot, his back foot next, because obviously he's turned, so his left foot has become his back foot, and then he just drifts past players. Like, yeah, he's unbelievable.
You're making me think about changing my mind now.
No, done now. Sorry, Diarra, done. The next three should be pretty straightforward, if I'm being honest. I've moved them out to the right, but we've got Dele Alli or John Utaka.
Dele.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought that was
Dele Alli, honestly, that guy, it's such a shame the tail off, but those first few seasons when he came in from League One and he just kind of went straight in, it was just, wow.
Well, the thing is, actually, the left midfield it should be tough, because as this Pompey player, I loved him to bits as soon as he got here. Son or Nico Cranshaw?
Oh, it's got to be. I'll see again. Are we talking those individual seasons? Because
so Cranshaw's season that we won the FA Cup.
Sonny only really blossomed kind of after that. He still was he wasn't, him and Harry Kane hadn't really had that proper relationship built at that early on. It was more about like Kane and Dele and Ericsson, and so I'm going to go for Cranshaw.
Nice,
just because of that's those individual seasons. As a player, like a career-wise, I would go for Son, but those individual seasons, you go Cranshaw.
Like we heads up. And then the last one is King Kanu or Harry Kane.
It's not even a question, is it? Kane is England's greatest striker ever. Yeah, sure. Kane is England's greatest ever striker, and Spurs' greatest ever striker. And the fact that they, rather than build a whole team around him and give the guy, boyhood fan, what he wants, you sell him, and then look where Spurs are now. So,
well, that's been the problem with Spurs for a very long time. They haven't built on a success, but even if they've tried to build a success, they've not exactly done the job, because, obviously, when Bale left, and look where they put that money. Obviously, a couple of the signings were good, but the rest were pretty bang average, weren't they, for that size? I'm just looking through that squad of that season. Do you know who the third choice goalkeeper was for Spurs?
The third choice?
Yeah. So you got Lloris, Vorm, and then on this list here, Luke McGee.
Yeah, he would have been there at that point. That's right. Yeah.
That's what it says on this list here. I don't know how true
this
is.
I don't know if he'd have been third choice. He was definitely kind of that kind of academy / fourth choice, maybe. I don't know who else would have been there, though. Maybe it was Luke McGee.
Yeah. So your team is David James in goal, Herman Ryerson left back, Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld centre backs, Johnson out at right back. The three midfield is Ericsson, Diop, Diarra. The front three is Ali, Kane and Cranshaw. It's not a bad little team.
That midfield. Diop and Diarra behind. Ericsson's just got the free rein and he's got his big bouncers behind him.
Well, to be fair, what I would do, I would have Diop sitting, and then I would have Ericsson and Diarra in front.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
I'd just have one.
That would be a lovely midfield. I'm actually quite happy with that team.
Because you got Ericsson and Diarra complement each other very nicely. Ericsson, more of a quarterback, pick up the ball, start spraying it. With Diarra, can kind of do that as well. We pretty much can, but also drive with the ball and stuff like that. Be an absolute dream, that would be. So yeah, there's your two. There's your little prime selection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Might do that. Might pop that in every now and again, rather than the darts, to sort of mix it up.
Yeah, good shout. I like it. Right.
So, bit of Harry's Who
Yeah. Once again, I haven't got the intro ready, so I'll just go straight into it. Just speed it up a bit.
That's all right. No worries.
So, clue number 1. My total transfer fees across my career came to around, because there isn't actually a definite fee, 8.5 million.
0.5 million. It would be a massive help if I knew how many moves he'd had, because 8.5 million
Well,
over
I could
1 or
say it
2
was
years.
more than one. Right, hang on.
Yeah,
It wasn't
but
just like
what I mean,
one move that got him it. Well, okay, so
but say he's a journeyman and he's played for like 10 to 15 clubs.
yeah.
If he moves for like 500 grand a pop, which is like League One, maybe top end League Two and that kind of stuff. That could be that kind of player, if you know what I mean. If it's one move or 2 moves, you're looking you could maybe one move for
I
like
think
6 million and the other for
it's
2.
three moves cost fees.
I just have to throw a guess out there. It's probably trying to think a player that is earlier in his career would have moved probably for a little bit bigger money. I don't know. Let's just go. No, not him. Let's go Connor Chaplin. Don't actually know how much he moved from certain places.
Clue number 2. I played with Daryl Powell, Tim Sherwood, and Yasin Mutakil, but not at Pompey.
Jesus, that's a fucking
It
that's a collection.
is.
How old was Kill then? So if he's played with Sherwood and I always forget the first one. Who's the first person?
Daryl Powell,
Daryl
Tim
Powell.
Sherwood, and
Jesus.
Yasin Mutakil.
Daryl Powell. Legend. Big old boy, Daryl Powell. Wow.
It's quite a broad
It is.
span of.
I think I might concentrate on Sherwood. So he's been at Blackburn, Tottenham. Where's Sherwood been? Because Daryl Powell, I'm not sure. Daryl Powell's at Derby. That seems way too long ago. That seems like the lad, whoever played with Daryl Powell at Derby would have been quite young. Because if he's played with Mutakil as well, because Mutakil is not that old. Jesus, I think this is where I need Russ to bounce ideas off of.
He's too busy feeling sorry for himself.
Exactly. I could get off the toilet, can he, and just fucking log in? Shit. It's a lot more tougher when you're on your own,
Yeah,
especially when you feel like you've got to like sort of fill in the silence.
you can do it, Daz. I believe in you. I've got full faith that you're going to do it.
Yeah, I need to just. There's one player I'm thinking of. Just Derby just took to my head, but I'm not sure if Dale Powell's there. Going with Dion Burton. No, because it made sense. I know Dion Burton might. Actually, I don't know if he did play with Tim Sherwood because I don't think Dion Burton was at Pompey when. Well, he was there at the start of the season before Tim Sherwood turned up, but I think Tim Sherwood turned up like January, didn't he?
So, clue number 3. Well, I'll probably kind of put a little extra in there as well, just to
Go on
try
then.
and help you along. Portsmouth were the lowest appearances. Sorry, Portsmouth are the club that I made the lowest appearances for in my
Wow.
career, which was one appearance.
One appearance.
One appearance for Pompey. And
Right.
if you need another clue, I can happily give you another one off.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think of goalies. I can't remember because I'm pretty sure. was it? Did you say his name's like Sizak, or he played one game for us in goal and then he got like recalled. So I'm just trying to think of players like that who only played one game, like or Tom Craddock, because he only played one game before he did himself in, didn't he?
Did he only play one game for us?
I'm pretty sure he or did he play any games at all? Because he did he break his leg? Or
Quick little
like,
look at that.
I'm pretty sure he barely played a game.
He played eight times for us.
8
Yeah.
times. Oh, Jesus, well, I suppose how memorable he was then. See, I'm thinking maybe Sizak, but I'm just trying to think of only players that have only played one game for us.
I'll add one more. He's a defender.
Okay, so he's not a goalie then.
No.
Defender.
Just trying to help you narrow it down a bit.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be. Defender that only played one game. Again, the only defender I think of the top of my head is that Dennis. Is it Holmes or Holmes Dennis? But I don't know how much he would have moved for before that, because obviously he only literally played what, 10 minutes?
I think it was about half an hour, wasn't it?
And he looked good in that half an
He
hour.
did.
Jeez. Let's go Holmes Dennis. Can't think of anyone else.
I feel harsh playing that to you when you're on when it's just you.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So we'll go.
Is there another clue?
They're Scottish.
Scottish defender.
I'll give you their career going backwards. Okay, so Southend is where they finished at. Pompey, Charlton, Rangers, a loan to them lot down the road from West Ham, Blackburn, Derby,
Is it
and started their. Go on.
Is it Daly? There you go. See, I thought Daly played more than one game though. Did he seriously only play one game?
Oh, we'll double check, but I'm pretty sure he does.
He might have done. He might have done because I think it might have been one of those players.
He was on a 1 month deal.
There you go. Yeah, Simon Ditchy has covered this.
Yeah.
If it's a 1 month deal, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, okay. According to Transfer Marks, he played twice, but
did he? That doesn't really matter. Like once or twice is pretty much the same thing, isn't it? It's like splitting hairs.
But then it doesn't list once in the EFL Cup and once in the Champ for us. So yeah.
So what season was that? Was that when did he come to us? Was that the season before we got relegated to League One?
Or was it? It was the 11-12 season. So he literally came in August and then left in September. So a very quick.
Yeah. So that was the season after we got relegated for the Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got relegated. Yeah. Lovely. Right. So, any other business? So, do you want to talk about the Championship playoffs?
Yeah, we can touch on it, can't we? Obviously, the playoffs have been the clubs voted. The Championship clubs voted for it to be increased from 4 teams to 6. So it now means obviously still first and second go through automatically, automatic promotion. Third and fourth go straight through to the semi-finals. And then fifth plays 8th and 6th plays 7th in a one-leg quarter-final, I suppose, technically it is, on a knockout. And then the semi-final between 3rd versus 5th or 6th. No, 5th or 8th. And then 4th versus 6th or 7th. It's very confusing. It's 2 legs. And then the final. So it seems a bit bizarre to me that it's clearly obvious why they're doing it, and they're doing it for money. Doing it for extra money, extra broadcast deals, extra money for the clubs from the TV companies, and keeping interest in it from the broadcasters, I suppose. But to me, it feels weird that it's just the Championship and it's not all of the EFL. I feel like if you're going to change one of the EFL, it should all match up and all align. I don't know what you're feeling. Don't know what you're feeling, Daz.
The thing about the lining it up, I'm guessing maybe because of League Two, where 3 got up automatically, and then also the with the playoffs as well. Maybe they felt that maybe that would have been too many
So
teams
then
to be
it should
included
all
in
be
that.
aligned anyway. So I don't really like
Yeah, yeah.
the three automatically going up.
That's the problem. The thing is with that could maybe potentially change. Where obviously there's talk of them trying to change the 1 up. Was it 2 up, 2 down? From the National League, I think they want a third team, which would make a bit more sense
Yeah,
because there are some like big clubs down in the National League. So it'd be nice to get
and
some of them
if
back
you
up.
look at the National League this year, they're like the top 2 teams are like 15 points clear of the third.
Yeah,
And so one of
ridiculous.
them's not going to, I think it's York and I can't remember the other team. But one of them isn't going to go automatically when they're so far clear
It's
of the rest
crazy.
of them. And it should
Yeah,
be
and
2 up automatically from every league and then a third via the playoffs.
yeah, and because I think I understand how like when you got the Conference South and North and that kind of stuff because of the way it sort of works and how teams get moved around the leagues because of you can only have certain amount of teams in the league. So some teams that should be in the Conference South are put into the Conference North because of the numbers that go up and down. So I get that can be a bit more difficult, but with the actual football league, it shouldn't really matter because it's a national
Yeah.
competition. But yeah, I think they obviously sounded like they're trying to follow the National League because that's pretty much how they set out their playoffs. Is it rewarding failure? Like
It,
if eighth gets promoted, yeah, it is really because eighth you can be so far off of it, it's ridiculous.
and then you just got to get through like a couple of games
Yeah,
in like a individual game situation. Obviously the first game is only a 1 leg. So you can kind of get through that. Then you've got 2 legs. Obviously it could be up to 4 games,
yeah.
but
Well, because also as well, like because I think Sunderland, because I can't remember if they finished bottom of the playoffs. I think they were closer to 17th than on points than they were to Leeds at the top of the league. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I heard that the other day. So that makes it interesting.
yeah,
And
because you could have, I mean, it's weird because you look at the table now and you could have, Coventry are on 71 if, say, the table finished right now. Middlesbrough on 66. Derby are down on 51. Ipswich are on 63 points and Derby are on, so they're 12 points clear. And, Derby are actually 6 points away from the actual playoffs in 6th, but from
yeah,
next season they could be so far away. You could be looking at you look at teams down below and you could go down to 13th from Sheffield United on 48. So they're 3 points off of it. So if you're kind of
yeah,
13th, 14th, even QPR, you could keep going. You go down to probably Norwich in 17th on 45. So they're 6 points away. If they put a little run together, they're going from 17th and could get the playoffs in 8th. If they put
yeah.
a few back-to-back wins and other teams didn't, it's a bit, do you know what I mean? It's a bit like, hang on a minute, and maybe it's just kind of leave things alone.
No, I agree. And the thing is, someone made quite a good point about like a good point about it, but obviously trying to look for the positives that it will make more games more exciting as it comes towards the end of the season because more teams have the opportunity to finish obviously in that top 8. So where you might have less dead rubbers by the time it comes there, and like rather than teams resting players because they're in the playoffs and that sort of stuff. It's going to be a bigger pool of teams that have the opportunity to sneak in, because you always get the one team that sneak in last minute.
Yeah.
That now you could have up to 3,
Well,
really. Do you
yeah,
mean?
exactly. I just,
So I don't know. They're going to have to wait and see how it goes. And the thing is, with football, it evolves all the time. Like the competitions we see now, like if you'd have thought of that 10 years ago, you'd be like, it's disgusting, it's ruining the game and that kind of stuff. But you kind of just get used to it. I mean, we all know what it is. As I said, it's like with FIFA when they expand competitions, same with UEFA. The reason they expand it is not to get more teams so everyone can enjoy it and that stuff. It's there's some money
it's all
behind it,
money, isn't it? It's,
more sponsorship and that kind of stuff. Because don't forget, like the more, like even with teams and their sponsorship, like now for like say Pompey, like say we wanted to go for that 8th or 7th spot, they'll be like, right, look to their sponsors, we got more chance now of making it into the playoffs. It's a very small minimum more chance, but still there's more. If there's more spaces, it's more of a chance. It's just like facts. Like they could say we could sneak into there, then our games, like the playoffs, get put on Sky and that kind of stuff, so you can sell that to advertisers. So you'll get more eyes on your like product and that kind of thing. So it's not just the league that probably looking at that, it's also the clubs that will be looking at like as an opportunity for advertising and more ticket sales and that kind of thing. So I mean, it's the way I look about things like this, there's nothing you can do about it. They're going to do it, so you might as well just see it and see what happens and go from there. And if it falls on its arse, then they might have to go back to the drawing board. I think it'd be a lot harder for them to do it if they. Maybe that's why they've only done it for the championship, which makes I do find it interesting. They've done it for the championship and they're testing it in the championship rather than testing it in League One or League Two. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a bigger prize in the championship. So maybe they thought that would be more exciting doing it that way, and they have more eyes on it. But I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. They're going to bring it in no matter
yeah.
what. It's the same with, as I said, same with the World Cup and the Euros. They've made the tournaments even bigger, and they're not as enjoyable as they used to be. But just trying to enjoy it as much as you can. That's all you can do. But enjoy it by being disciplined.
Cheers, Neil.
Thank you. You're welcome. Is there anything else on any other business?
Don't think so. We've probably missed something we normally do, but
Yeah.
it's just next week we're doing our normal episode on Wednesday night, but it's literally going to be a quick half an hour of the games. We're not going to do any of our own segments. We're going to quickly zip through it as a little extra, because on Thursday the 12th on here on X we're doing a space. We're doing a big debate. So there's not going to be really time to be doing game previews and reviews. Anything Pompey, whether it's the owners, you don't like the colour blue, it doesn't matter what it is. Come on, have a discussion, come and debate with people. We'll kind of, I think it's just me and you, Daz. I think Russ is away. We'll kind of maybe pose some questions and kind of play the devil's advocate at different points to different people. But if you want to come and debate other people, you just want to say you kind of like a hot take kind of thing and start a little discussion, whatever it is, come on, say what you feel about anything you like. The only thing we ask for is, we keep it polite and we say things in a good manner and we don't abuse people, because to us that just, you start calling people names and throwing abuse, it kind of goes against it, damages your argument, and we're less likely to want to listen to it, quite frankly. So yeah.
Yeah, and like anyone that's sort of I'm in an RE if they want to come on or not, or they're worried and things like that, is have a listen to the podcast we did with Graham. Again, like, it wasn't like we were getting him on to like sort of like attack his opinions or anything like that, because as I said, me, Russ, and Haz always been quite open minded about stuff. So it was never that kind of podcast, but it's like just people discussing certain things, like getting out there, being respectful. And if you are going to come on and be an arsehole, we'll just just take your back off, because, as I said, I've got no issues with you coming on with strong opinions. If you want to come on and blame the Isers or anyone like for everything, that's fine. You can do it. But if you're going to come on, shout, swear, and like be abusive, like, I mean, we swear on here, but it's not abusive towards each other. It's in a light-hearted, funny way. But if you're going to come on and be a bit of an arsehole, we ain't gonna have it. Like, we want to give opportunities to Pompey fans to come on and say their bit. But as we said, it's got to be respectful. And come on and let us know what you think.
Yeah, and we've got Gary and Nolan from Pompey and Imush, I think, are coming on. I think we might have Graham on again as well. So yeah, we've got some different people. As I said, just come on, request to speak, and we'll kind of probably keep it to maybe 5-10 minute discussions, depending on how many people want to come on. Just so everyone gets to say. We'll probably do hour and a half-ish if we can fit it in. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, lovely. So obviously, guys, don't forget it's 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. So safe travels to anyone going up there, either if you're going up there tomorrow night or if you're going up first thing Saturday morning. If you're going up first thing Saturday morning, I'm guessing it's a very, very early start. So
I'll tell you quickly, did you see how early the Sunderland fans had to start for the Bournemouth game? That was a 12:30.
I wasn't sure about that, to be honest.
It was like midnight, wasn't it, at the stadium at night?
It was a bit like, maybe it's one of those things where you'd have to sort of chat to the coach company and understand why they left that early.
Well, obviously coaches are limited to think just under 60. So, but also you've got, because of the distance, you've got obviously driving regulations, and coach drivers have got to take a certain amount of breaks and everything. Obviously they want to get there a fair bit before the time. So by the time you add it all up, it works out 12 hours before kickoff, which seems insane. But
but safe journey to all Pompey fans making their way up there. Like, respect to you. I just really hope that the team can give you all as well.
We're going to win, Daz. Come on, we're going to win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's the start. It's the start of the staying up.
Yeah, well, that's definitely hope so. But yeah, cheers, Haz, for this episode, and cheers for anyone who popped in on the Space Live, and thank you for anyone listening on your favourite podcast channels. Up the Blues.